Welcome to Math 153, which is going to be a hybrid course offered this summer starting in May of 2016. I want to take a few minutes just to walk you through the course setup. We will also be going through this on the first night of class, but I just want to make sure in case somebody misses that class or you forget something, you have something to refer back to. The first thing that I'm going to do is take you to the Getting Started page. So you can see Getting Started located over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and click on Getting Started, and I'd like for you to do the same. So this page will be everything that you need in terms of information as you go through and complete the course. So this course will be entirely online except for testing. We will meet on Monday, May 23rd at 5:30 p.m. in room 102 of the Jason building, and at that point we'll discuss everything you need to be successful in the course. We will set up any accounts that you need and go over the course again, so please plan on attending. It'll make things much smoother. That's the only required night that we will meet. You will be testing on campus. That can be at any Delaware Tech campus, and you'll go to their respective testing centers, wherever that may be for the summer. You're going to have a window in which you can do testing. So for example, in week 3 you have a test due, and that week runs from June 6th to the 12th. So the test will be due by the close of the testing center on June 10th. So you have any time during that window to complete your test. All tests and homework will be done in MyLabs Plus, and we will also discuss that on the first night. In order to prepare for the course, I want you to go through all the materials in this section, and I want you to make sure you have the technology that you need. You're going to need a reliable internet connection for this course. The textbook is optional. Everything you will need, you'll be able to access in MyLabs Plus. You are going to need a graphing calculator for this class. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, and I want to talk about this Nomia account. So you're going to need an account with Nomia.com. So you're going to need to go to www.nomia.com and sign up for a student account. It is free. The orange button on the top will say sign up. That's the only time that you'll actually go to that website. After that point, any link you need will be directly in Blackboard. We will also be using something called Zaption, and we will walk through that together on the first night. I'm a little confused whether you guys need accounts for that, so I actually need live bodies to troubleshoot that with me. So we'll take care of that the first night, and if you need an account for that, I will walk you through it. And if for some reason you miss the first night and an account is needed and we figure that out, I will post that as another video later. Also here you will see the Math Center hours for the summer, and you're also going to see information for the testing center. The testing center is where you will take your tests. That's because it will have hours Monday through Thursday from 9 to 4, and as well also on Fridays. So that's a misprint. I will go back and fix that. Monday through Fridays from 9 to 4. It is located in the Jason building, room 176. What you need to know about that is you need an appointment at least 24 hours in advance of taking a test. You cannot just show up for a test. So I've included the phone number you need to call or the email address that you can email in order to set up that appointment. Finally, you'll see a grade sheet on the bottom here. I thought since this is an online course, it may be helpful for you to be keeping track of your grades on a sheet of paper. It's also going to be posted all on Blackboard, but I know sometimes it's easier to see it paper and pencil, so that is there for your use if you want it. If you go into instructor information, that's where you'll find my email address and my work phone number. My office location is room 101 across from the gym, but I am a 10-month employee, which means that I am not physically here in the summer. The best way to reach me is by email. I'll respond to emails within 24 hours. If you email me over the weekend, I won't be checking as regularly as I do during the week, but I will typically answer pretty fast. Also, because I know this is a summer class and it's going to be difficult if you're working over the weekends, I'm going to provide you with my cell phone number. It's 410-726-4058. And I ask that you only use that if it's a dire emergency. And also respect some sort of normal hours on that. So wait till 8 a.m. and then no phone calls after 9 p.m. because I'll be asleep. I'm not going to answer anyway. All right, so let's look at our syllabus and our schedule. So I just want to point out to you that the syllabus is located here. You can go ahead and print that out and look at that on your own, because the document that I really want to talk through with you is the schedule and the policies. So if you would, please click on Schedule and Policies now, and we're going to go through that together. So what you see here is the schedule for the week. Every week, and you can see that that's here, there are required videos to watch in addition to what you see here listed. So you really need to live and breathe in Blackboard, and I'll show you how to do that. Unless it's noted otherwise, your due date is always going to be on Sunday at 11 p.m. So you can see within here there are other due dates that may be noted. So our first week begins May 23rd. That's where we're going to meet face-to-face. And then the topic that you will cover that week, you can see located in this center box here. And then over here on the right is just a little checklist for you of what is due that week. But again, I really want you in the course. I'll have a roadmap for each week for you in the course. And you can also use your grade sheet to sort of check off everything that's due that week so that you know you've got everything covered. You can also see that we will meet via what's called Adobe Connect, and I'm going to talk you through in a little bit how to do that. I'm expecting you to attend those sessions. So you pick one to attend. That will give us a chance to chat, meet one another, and talk through any questions that you may have. Your homework is located in My Labs Plus, and I'll be showing you that in a little bit as well. So you can see on this schedule, and I'll scroll through it nice and slow for you, when your tests are. You can see that the first test will be due June 10th. And I've tried to make the tests in red so that they're very easy for you to see. So some weeks you'll be split between 2 units. You can see that that happens in week 3. So you'll wrap up unit 1, you will complete a review, you'll do a little group review together via Adobe, and once that test is done, which is like at any point that week, you need to move on to unit 2. So there are some weeks, just by the nature of the way the course is laid out, that we've got to cover 2 different things. We can't just reserve a whole week for a test. So, but everything is laid out for you right here. And you can see the dates, like I said, of the tests and anything that you need to do to complete the course. Let's go ahead and look a little bit more at the policies. So tests will be 80% of your grade. There'll be 4 major tests that are 100 points each, and there will be 4 reviews that are also 100 points each. The tests are going to be averaged and it will count towards that 80% final grade. The reviews will not count against your grade. Instead, we will use them as bonus points, and if you receive an A or a B, that will count as 5 bonus points to your unit test. You have to take the review before you take the test. You can't walk into the testing center and take the test and go, oh boy, I really wish I would have done that review, and then run back home and do the review. Doesn't work that way. It has to be time stamped before the test. If prior approval is given, a missed test can be made up within a week. I know that summers get a little crazy, and I'm a pretty understanding person. So as long as you give me enough notice, I will work with you to reschedule a test. But you can't tell me the day of or the day before. Things are going to happen. You may end up with a sick child or something like that. I'm an understanding person. But please try your best, since you've got a nice large window, not to wait till the last minute to do that test. If you don't get prior approval, I will let you do 1 test late, but with a 20% penalty. Anything after that, you're just going to sort of have to wait for that final exam. The final exam will replace a missed test or a low test grade. So if you have a very low test grade, and let's suppose you get an 85 on your final, and it only gotten a 60 on a test, I'll count that 85 as the test grade, and it'll also count as the final exam grade. I will provide a formula sheet for you that will be in the testing center, not the math center, and it will be given to you for all of your tests. The final exam is mandatory. Don't think that just because you have an A, you don't need to show up for it. It will count as part of that 80%, and it'll be heavy on the Unit 5 content because you won't take a formal test on that content. You'll have a graded assignment, but I will test you on that during the final exam. A formula sheet will be provided again at the testing center for that. And for the final exam only, you can use one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with notes. All the other assignments that you do for me will be lumped into this category of projects, homework, and online work, and that'll be 20% of your grade. So your homework will be done in MyLabs Plus, which I will show you, and I will be checking that fairly regularly. Also, it'll count towards that 20%. The rest of it I'm going to call formative assessment. And so there'll be videos that are due every week, and you saw that on that timeline. And for those, I'm not going to mark the answers that you complete during the video as right or wrong. I'll simply give you a check mark for attempting them. There will be discussion boards that you will need to complete that are graded. There will be individual, what I call formative assignments, that I'll give you feedback for that will be graded. And also those online mandatory meetings will be graded. Attendance, clearly this is an online class, but you are expected to attend the posted Adobe Connect meetings for which you have a choice of times, and you're also expected to take your tests in the testing center as we described above. Cell phone use doesn't apply in an online class, but you can't have them in the testing center, so please make sure that those are put away when you go to take your test. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the learning materials and show you what a typical unit will look like so that you know how to follow along and complete the work each week. So when you first click on learning materials, you will see that the 5 different units come up. And if I go ahead and click on Unit 1, which I'm going to do now, you'll see the weeks come up. You'll click on the appropriate week, and within that folder, you'll see everything you need for that week. So here is Unit 1, Week 1. And it is a checklist roadmap so you know that you've done every single thing you need to do. And then within that roadmap, it'll direct you if you need to go into any of the folders down below. So the first thing that we have is a discussion board, and that's in the discussion board folder. Then there's a web link, and that's actually your instruction for the week, and that's in the activities folder. Then you'll do another discussion board based on that first video. And then we'll do Adobe Connect just to practice with that, and I'll show you how we're going to do that in a moment. And then a reminder of the MyLabs Plus homework, and I'm going to show you that in a moment as well. So that is there for every single week. I'm going to go back and just show you week 2 so you can see that every single week is laid out the same way. So here's the roadmap for week 2, a little bit later of a week during week 2. So you can see that there's a web link that you need to go to in the activities folder, and then you have an assignment to do in MyLabs Plus. Now for the weeks that are split over 2 different units, I want to show you how it's going to show you within the week. In this folder, you'll find all your materials to complete the Unit 1 test and review. That should be completed in the first part of week 3. Then move on to Unit 2, and when you go into Unit 2, there will also be a folder labeled week 3. So we go back, we're going to select Unit 2 this time, and notice there's a week 3 folder labeled within Unit 2. So that's how we'll handle the weeks that are split. And I've given, I think, enough direction for you within Blackboard that you'll know when you need to go into another folder. I've mentioned the word Adobe Connect a few times. So if we have an Adobe Connect meeting, you'll see down here a button that says Adobe Connect. And all you have to do is click on that button. Once you're there, you're going to see it's not going to look exactly like this because it'll have different meetings listed. But you'll see our course meetings set up there. You'll click on the one for the appropriate date, and then you'll go in. There will also be some directions for how to check to make sure that your computer is operating properly, meaning is there volume? You don't need to have a webcam. If you have a webcam, that's awesome. We'd love to see you. It makes it a little bit more like a face-to-face class when we can see one another. But if that makes you uncomfortable, you don't need to use it. A headset is always helpful because then you don't hear background noise. So if you have some headphones, use those when we do those meetings. But we'll be able to mute and things like that. So if you got screaming kids in the background, don't stress too much. We'll just mute them out when we need to. So that's going to be where you go for Adobe Connect meetings. Your grades, as things are graded, you'll find them listed here in My Grades. You can also go to Course Email. That's a great tool to go to because you'll be able to email one another. You don't need to know each other's email addresses. You can find one another and send emails to each other that way. So the last thing that I want to do with you is show you My Labs Plus. So when you are at home, in order to access My Labs Plus, you're going to go to dtcc.mylabsplus.com. Notice there's no www, so just type in directly what I have here. Some of you have worked in My Labs Plus before, so the login is exactly the same as your login for Dell Tech. That's what you're going to enter here. The password is all lowercase, math, student, no spaces, no capitals. Okay, so you will log in, and then you will just simply click on your homework assignments. Your homework assignments will be listed under MML Homework. Okay, it'll be on the upper left-hand corner. When you go to take tests, your test will be located under MML Tests. And the folks in the testing center will know this, so don't panic. They will walk you through it. Your tests will be password protected, so you can't take them at home. Can't even try. You need to come to campus to do that. So I hope this provides a nice summary of the things that we're going to cover on the first night of class. I look forward to working with each of you in this online environment this summer. This is probably going to be one of the toughest math courses you've done if you've never taken an online math class, because doing it online is very different than working through it together as a group. But we're going to still work through it together. We're going to meet, we're going to chat, and I'm always here to help. So I look forward to working with you this summer.